Welcome everyone to our Attraction and Action Mastermind Gang. We do this every Wednesday. And why? Because we want to improve your knowledge, your skills, your mindset, and your habits as it relates to building your revenue share business here at EXP. And I underline the word business because I encourage each of you to treat building revenue share at EXP like a real business, like a real job, if you will, where you have time block schedules, you're following your time block schedules, you're doing the 20% work every day that's going to yield at least 80% of your results. And I love to invite special guests, people that have kind of been there and done that. They've blazed the trail for you. They've got the stepping stones laid out. They've got the torches lit. All you have to do is go left foot here, right foot here, left foot here. See, the smart people, they're going to learn from their own mistakes, no doubt. Yet I think the exceptional people learn from the mistakes of others. Yet the smartest people in the world, they study the successes of those that have gone before them to emulate that success. You don't have to recreate the wheel. So today we've got Pete Middleton, who's built a sustainable, large revenue share group here at EXP. And Pete's going to tell us what he does, how he does it. He's going to share with you mindset tips, as well as strategies and tactics that you can implement and deploy like right now in your business to attract more agents. So Pete, without any further delay, why don't you introduce yourself to the group?
Hi guys, thanks so much. I'm Pete Middleton. I'm with EXP Luxury here at EXP. I've been here since October 2019. Prior to that, I was at Coldwell Banker Global Luxury. Prior to that, I was at my own brokerage that I sold to Realogy. And prior to that, I was at KW. And that's when Sean and I met, and I met his mother also at that time. So great connections. We go way back. Thanks, Sean, for having me.
Pete, I'm so glad you're here, buddy. I cannot wait to hear what you have to say. I've got my remarkable tablet out. I'm ready to take some great notes. So let's kind of rewind the tape a little bit. Number one, how'd you get into real estate? What attracted you to that?
So, it's an interesting story. I grew up in a real estate family, and I'm a second generation realtor. So I was constantly going to the real estate office early on when I was younger and so forth. Back in Brockton, Massachusetts. So my parents were in real estate roughly around 50 years, my uncle, my aunt, and so forth. And we had a great following in that city, right? Everybody knew us, and real estate came naturally. I started when I was 21, fresh out of college, and I've been doing it now for a few years, and it's been going really well. So that's how I kind of broke into real estate. At that time, Sean, I never even anticipated. I was like, I'm not going to get in the family business. I'm not going to do real estate. And they all kept saying, yeah, sure, we'll see. And here I am, 30 years later, doing real estate still and selling luxury homes and having a lot of fun. And I'm just super grateful for EXP.
Undoubtedly. So October 2019, let's fast forward. How did you come to EXP? I mean, what kind of got you off the fence to say, okay, number one, I'm open-minded. I'll investigate the model. How did somebody convince you to do that?
My best friend, Dennis D'Souza, you're familiar with Dennis, great guy.
He's one of my clients. I love Dennis, great guy. Yes,
I know.
The pleasure
and
of working with him on a weekly basis. Yeah, go ahead.
Sorry. He loves your stuff. And, Dennis had brought me the Gene Frederick video. And he said, look, everything you've always told me that the real estate industry was missing, that you were looking for, I believe is in this video. You got to watch this video. So I said, sure, not a problem. I'll watch it. And at that time I was I was still with Coldwell Banker, and I always honor my commitments and I do everything based on integrity. So I said, okay, I'll take a look at it. And when I saw it, I immediately saw it, right? I'm one of the few people I think that saw it instantaneously. So I was watching Gene's video, and I love Gino, and he made so many great points. I was writing like crazy, right? You use your stylus. I use my yellow notepad, and I'm taking all these notes. And I said, let's go to the one person who will pick this apart. So what I did was I asked my wife to come in, and I said, look, you got to watch this. And she said, well, what is it about? And I said, I can't really explain it. And she said, well, is it about real estate stuff? And I said, yeah. She goes, I don't know if I really want it. I said, listen to me. You just got to watch it. This is going to affect your future. Also, I poured her a glass of wine. I left the room. I said, it's roughly 30 minutes. I'll be back in 30 minutes. I went in the next room, and I started a stopwatch on my phone. And I was just waiting. When it hit 30 minutes, boom, I went back in, poured her another glass of wine. And I said, so what did you think? And I'll never forget it. It's as it happened yesterday. She looked at me and said, all right, so how do you get paid? I said, I don't know. She said, how does the stock aspect of it work? I said, I don't know. She said, how does the revenue share or whatever that other thing is called work? I said, I don't know. And she said, well, how do you know this is the way to go? I said, I know. I just know on this one. And she was sitting there and she paused and she said, why are you not doing this? This is everything that you've been telling me over the years that a brokerage needs, that where real estate is going, and you're a big believer in getting out in front of it. And she said, why are you not doing it? It was surreal. Like she turned her chair and looked right at me and said, why are you not doing this? And that was it. And I said, I'm going to do this. So the moment I had the opportunity to do it, I did it.
Fantastic, Pete. I love it. Great story. Now, tell us present day, how many people in your organization?
1,308.
Congratulations. Where did you
Thank you.
find the explosive growth occur? I'm just curious. And about what agent count within the organization?
I'd say I really hit explosive growth right around the 100 mark, right? That's where it started really getting traction. So the people out there who are questioning themselves or saying, oh, I go up a few agents, I come down. We all experience that. And I always say to everyone, I'm sure Sean does too, everybody started with the same amount. Everybody started at one, right?
Right.
And what I did was I was just very authentic. I would go to people and say, look, how's your business going? What can I do to help you? What systems are you lacking? What's your strong points? What are your weak points? How can we do more business together? That's how I kind of let in. And then I basically just said, I found an opportunity that I got to be honest with you, Sean, I wouldn't be a very good friend. And I consider us friends if I didn't at least present it to you. And they were like, what is it? What is it? What is it? And I said, it's a little different to explain, but I can share this with you. Real estate is going to change immensely over the next 5 years. And I think you have to get out in front of it. I've always tried to get out in front of it. And I think if you do that and you have insight, you can really change your career path and your journey. And I would just say, look, will you do me a favor and watch this? Because I really think it could change your life. It could get you out of the grind. It could help your family. It will find you balance and so forth. And I really do believe in it. And they understood my commitment, not only my commitment to what I believed in, but my commitment to them, that they said, okay, I'll watch it.
Hold on one second, Pete. Based on that lead in, you guys, go to the chat. Do me a favor. Just open up your chat and in one word, describe the emotion that you think Pete was able to create during this conversation. Just type in the word. What emotion do you think Pete created by just saying, listen, I wouldn't be a very good friend if I didn't at least share this with you. So you can get out ahead of this, because what did you feel? Talk to me, guys. Sincerity, enthusiasm, trust, curiosity, love and urgency. I love it. Contribution, fantastic. These are all wonderful words, right? Connected, hope. Hope, that's a good word, no doubt about that. I love it. All right, so with that said, Pete, how have you done with your front line? I mean, those partners that you've attracted to EXP, how many are there?
So on my front line right now, there's 47. I have 27 FLQAs.
Fantastic. And what's the plan to bridge the gap between level 6 and level 7? How are you going to get to 40? What's your plan?
My plan to get to 40 is to really pour into my generals and help them get to where they want to go. I know that just naturally I will get there by reaching out to more contacts and really, listen, this is a contact sport, right? The more contacts you make, the more contracts you'll write in real estate, right? That's the old saying. I think the more contacts that you make, the more contractual people will come over who are in production that help your downline. And just if you help enough people get what they want, you'll automatically get what you want. I'm a big believer in that. The more you put out there, the more it comes back to you. So my ultimate goal is I've been blessed with guys like Chris Curcio and Jenna Caudell and Matt Battiat. There's just some great people in my front line that I've been connected to who are really just dynamite people and dynamite believers in what we're doing, right? Everybody is all in. Everybody is authentic. Everybody wants to make this the biggest and best play possible, not only for their own sake and their own families, but also for all the people around us. And I think that's the key thing, right? We all get there together. As Brent always says, and Brent's a dear friend of mine, he always says, listen, Pete, stop playing the short game and play the long game. And he always says, listen, the most important thing is this: all ships rise with the same tide. So help everyone around you and have your own numbers to them. They may not have that aspiration to get to a certain number. You have to will it on them and be there for them and be their cheerleader, their supporter, their connector, their business partner, whatever it is. Because, some of the people, for Chris, for instance, he was never highly in production all the time. He was in production, but he saw it way even before me. He instantaneously saw it. And we've brought in some big groups. And I've been really grateful for those connections and the things that we've done, because that's helped our growth exponentially, right? And I think that's really, really important. So you have to pour into your first level and really be connected to them. I think it's really important to lift them up when they're down, to push them up when they're high, and to really just keep doing things and events and masterminds and things like this where you can really pour into them.
Yeah, we're going to talk about that too today. So prepare yourself. Yet 2 weeks ago, we had Connor Steinbrook on. Now he's the founder of the Wolf Pack, right? Connor's a stud. I'm telling you. He attracted Mike Sherrard, who quite frankly broke all the records here at EXP in terms of the number of frontline agents and the duration of time it took him to get there. Yet Connor said this. He said, you first got to focus on mindset with those that you've attracted to EXP. Now, Pete, talk to me about that, because a lot of people, they come into EXP because of the cap. It's much less than I'm paying at Coldwell Banker or Berkshire Hathaway. And I'm going to net more of my hard-earned commission dollars. Maybe they come because of that reason. Maybe they want stock equity ownership in the brokerage they work so hard for. Yet very few actually join EXP because of their revenue share model. So how do you kind of shift that mindset from I'm going to focus on personal production because I eat what I kill and I got bills to pay, to get them to maybe take a fraction of their time to invest that into building EXP and their own residual and passive income in the process?
Oh, Sean, that's such a great question. I love that. And thank you for asking it. That is a question that I have kicked back and forth a bunch of times, right? Because sometimes everybody's different. A lot of people are stuck in that production mode. And listen, if you have to do production to support your family or your lifestyle or whatever it is, by all means do that. But I am trying to get all the people, like Bobby Martins, for instance. He's on my front line. He's a great guy. And he runs a successful team, and he has limited time, right? They all have limited time. So what I try to do is I just try to keep planting seeds with them. Hey, what do you want to accomplish? What are your plans? What's your 1-year goal, your 3-year, your 5-year, your 10-year? Where do you want to be? What do you want to do more of? And then after that, I try to really push them to come to every event possible, because I know that the events will do the heavy lifting, and the events will cause us to not only reconnect, but they'll see it in real time. They'll see it from other people who aren't affiliated with our organization or our lines. And when you see that in real time, it's so authentic that you can't not see it, right? It's really in your face, where you look at it and you say, okay, I have to do this, right? I've been pushing it off. And then I have all the other people around me, right? All the other generals around me, and they're like, and it's funny, Chris will just say to somebody, what the hell are you doing? Why you're moving from thing to thing? Why are you not doing this? Look at, we're mapping it out. We're showing you why are you not doing it, right? And he'll call them out, or some of the other people will say, what's holding you up? How many calls are you making a week? How many people are you reaching out to? Because you should be helping these people. You know, it's like, Sean, it's the best analogy I can give you. Say you went to the best resort ever or the best restaurant ever. Would you go back and not tell any of your friends?
No, of course not. I would tell everybody.
You would tell everyone. You'd say, listen, I found something that I think would bring way more benefit to your life, to your balance, to your family, to your future, to generational wealth, whatever it is, you know? And a lot of people don't do that. They kind of keep it to themselves and they get nervous. Oh, I'm going to be bothering someone. And then they get upset when that same person shows up to an event. And this just happened to me. I'm not excluded. And you're like, damn, I knew that person. Why didn't I at least just bridge the gap and reach out to him and say hi? And that's it.
And we've all been guilty of that. And you can kick yourself 1,000 times for the calls you didn't make. Yet, even if they reject you, you'll still have that fulfillment because you made the call. Now, we've all experienced where there's that one agent and you think, oh, you know, they'll never come to EXP. And you let Mick, which we all have a Mick, MIC, right? It's an acronym. It stands for my inner cynic. It's that inner voice we all have that talks us out of doing sometimes the things that we need to do. And you don't make that call. And then you find out 3 months later, they just joined EXP and it wasn't under you. We've all been there. Something else that you said earlier, Pete, and Chris, we're going to come to you in just a moment. So thanks for being patient, buddy, that I wanted to underline just real fast. And that is, guys, at about 100 agents to 125 agents, you're going to experience exponential growth. And there's no easy or clean way to say this, in my opinion. It is a pain in the ass to get to 100 agents. It truly is. There are days you're going to think, what the heck am I doing? Why am I doing this? Because it is just, man, you just have to put your head down. You got to focus. But here's the thing. The light at the end of the tunnel is between 100 and 125 agents. I'll tell you what, when I hit 100 agents, it just caught fire. I couldn't stop it from growing. I mean, 9 agents a day joining the revenue share organization. I didn't know their first or last name, where they were located, yet simply put, when they sell a house, my family got paid. Guys, how does it get any better than that? This is the best leverage that you can apply to your life, to your business. And yet, what is holding you back? Seriously, what is keeping you from picking up the phone and making that call? You say, well, Sean, I've got bills to pay. I got to focus on transactional work. That's fantastic. Do that, like Pete said. Yet, why not just have a 60-second add-on conversation to the conversations you're already creating? Guys, and I'm starting to get a little bit fired up here, right? Because
I love it.
And most agents are talking to 5 to 15 other realtors every single week, just in the normal transactional workflow. And yet, for some crazy reason, your gut gauge, your Mick, is holding you back from simply saying, hey, I'm just curious, have you actually sat down, taken the time to investigate the EXP Realty model as it relates to your production, your stock portfolio, and your ability to retire from real estate? Because I got to tell you, the finances, the economics are life-changing. You say, no, I haven't taken the time. Well, I'll tell you what, let's do. Let's simply set an appointment. I want to walk you through this model. I feel kind of a moral obligation to do so because of the impact it's had on my family and our financial future. I'm going to outline the 8 different ways that we compensate our agents here at EXP. And I'll show you a step-by-step plan that you could literally retire if you choose to in the next 3 to 5 years. When's the best time to get together? Is it mornings or afternoons? Guys, how easy could it be? And you say, oh, Sean, I don't know everything about EXP. I'm going to learn everything before I pick up the phone. Guys, you don't need to know everything about electricity to turn on a light switch, okay? Same thing. You've got people that you partnered with that are above you in the organization that would be more than happy to have the conversation for you and with you. You can then just sit back, be a fly on the wall as they do their thing, and you're going to simply through osmosis pick up the knowledge, pick up the skill set to attract more and more agents. And before you know it, you're doing these attraction calls all by yourself. You don't need me. You don't need Pete. You don't need Chris. You don't, yeah, right? You can do it all on your own. And of course, you're going to leverage through your partners and you're going to edify them because they'll help you get people over the fence. There's no doubt about that. All right, I'm going to get off the soapbox. We're going over to Chris. Take it away, my friend.
What's up, buddy?
Hey.
Yeah, so another thing to piggyback on what Pete was saying earlier, something that we do a lot of within our organization is really assisting our agents. Like a lot of people, their biggest hesitancy is just to pick up the phone. So I'm like, all right, if you're not going to do it, give me their phone number and I'll call. You know what I mean? So we're all doing that in our group for the people below us because remember, guys, like, when you hear Sean and Pete talking about like getting to 100 agents and you're like, holy shit, I have one, what I mean? That's a long road. What you have to remember is, I mean, what is there, like 5 people in the whole company that have over 100 people in their front line? Very few. So
Very few.
none of those people, none of us are with large organizations are doing it alone. So if you're a leader and you're getting the knack for this and you're starting to grow, Mendelssohn's Dr. Seuss rhyme, I always love that when he goes, a recruit is not a recruit until they have their first recruit. So help your recruit get their first recruit, or something along those lines.
Right.
So, you guys are seeing the transactions that your agents are doing. Reach out to them right away. Congratulations on doing your deal. It's right in your dashboard for RevShare. They break it down by agent and transaction. So we just send them an email every single time that says, hey, congrats. Don't forget, this is an opportunity to talk to the agent on the other side. The, co-broke opportunities, that's low-hanging fruit. So we then put a Google form right into that email. And it's like, if you can't or won't do it, I'm going to do it, because we don't want to miss the opportunity. We're all in this thing together. So I do that every day where I'm calling agents. I'm like, hey, you just closed a transaction with one of my agents. You know what I mean? And if I don't get them on the phone, that's the text message I send, because they're like, oh shit, did something get screwed up on this deal or whatever? So they're going to call me back. And then you just say, hey, look, my guy was raving about you. And if you got 5 minutes, I got something I'd like to talk to you about. And then you just roll into your pitch as if you're recruiting them directly. But that's how your organizations will start to grow exponentially, guys. Not alone, not just focused on you and trying to fill out that front line to 100. When you have 20, you can turn that 20 into 100 much faster.
Undoubtedly, Chris. Way to go, man. And well said. I
Well
don't
said.
think anybody can say it any better. Yet at the same time, there's 4 areas that we must focus on to build a sustainable revenue share organization. Of course, number 1 is always going to be paramount. It's recruiting. Okay, number 2 is retention. And what are you doing specifically on purpose to retain the agents once they come over to EXP? Number 3 is revenue or per agent production. So what are you specifically doing? What are your strategies and tactics to improve their knowledge, skills, mindset, and habits so that they can sell more real estate? Because I'll tell you what, if they're making enough money, they're never going to leave. It helps with the retention strategy as well. And then finally, it's reproduction. Guys, it's just 4 R's, right? Recruiting, retention, revenue, and reproduction. And you've got to have actions under each of those target positions. So with that said, which is most important to you right now, Pete? I mean, you're over 1,000 agents, well over 1,000 agents. Is it the recruiting aspect? Is it the retention? Is it the revenue or per agent production? Or is it really reproduction? What's most important to you now?
I'd say right now in this type of market that we're in, Sean, I would say it's retention.
Okay.
And the reason being, I think a lot of people are looking at their businesses, their production right now, where they're going with things. I know this is supposed to be a recruiting call, but it's still all drives from production, right? And trust me, I love revenue. Chris loves revenue. We all love revenue, right? The revenue is the sweet part of the meal. But I think right now it's all about retention and keeping our agents in production, keeping our agents moving forward, staying positive, learning new skills, learning how to navigate this market and so forth. And I know there's a lot of people on this call. You have 91 people on this call, which is dynamite. And this is what I'll say to everyone, okay? And I'm not saying I'm right. There's no right or wrong. I know people may be sitting there and saying, well, God, I'm not as smooth as Sean, or I haven't done as many calls as Chris. You have to remember, you guys, Sean's as cool as the other side of the pillow, right? He flows with this, but it's not something, he had to learn it. This is all done through repetition. I mean, Chris has probably done 800 calls in the last few months. I mean, he calls all the time. And you just have to get rid of fear. Get rid of fear. Just pick up the phone and say, listen, I wouldn't be a very good friend if I didn't at least introduce you to this. I don't ever want to be the person that you come up to 2 or 3 years from now, Sean, and say, God, Pete, you thought so little of me. I really thought we were friends, and you never even reached out to me. You let me stay in the grind and slugging it out and having no time with my kids or my wife or my family, or working 75 hours a week and having no equitable position in my company. And you didn't even take the time to just just text me or phone call me or anything, right? So I know a lot of people might be on there saying, oh, well, I can't do that. I'm not as good as them or this and that. Just take key points, you guys. Be authentic, be yourself, reach out to people and say, you know something, I've been thinking about you today. Just open up with that. I was really thinking about you today. And just say, what do you know about this? Or how is your market going right now? How is your production today compared to 6 or 8 months ago? And what's holding you back? What are you seeing? Where do you see it trending? Open it up based on production. And then you can get into the other things. Because what I realized this morning is this. What does everybody have every year?
Taxes.
That's true. It is tax.
That's been on my mind. I've been up since 3:40 this morning going through my books. So it's good stuff.
But Sean, this is something that everybody likes every year.
Tell me.
Well, most people, their birthday.
There you go.
All right. So call them on their birthday and wish them a happy birthday and say, while I have you on the phone, I brought a gift to you. Here's the gift to you. All right. They're going to say, what do you mean? Just say, did you receive my gift? They're going to say, no, I haven't. Say, well, I'm calling you to share it with you. Here's the gift. This is how I can show you not only to refine your business, where you can keep more of the production value, but also where you can get an equitable position and you can get your family a better position and you can retire in 3 to 5 years and you can change the way that you're doing things in your life to kind of break the chains of being chained down in real estate from transaction to transaction. We have to show people how to do that. Otherwise, listen, everybody gets one ticket. That's it. Everybody gets one life, you get one ticket. Who would want to, look back and say, God, I thought Sean and I were friends and he never even reached out to me. He never even spoke. He never even shared this idea with me. I must not be a very good friend of his. So if you're nervous about that, you guys, that's my tip of the day. Call them on their birthday. Be the first one to call. Call them early in the morning. They'll be all excited, right? You have the most energy in the morning, especially on your birthday. You're all fired up. And if you don't get them, leave them a message. Say, hey, I know it's your birthday. I know you might have a lot going on. I have a present for you. Call me back. They'll call you back. Everybody wants to know what the present is. And there's no better present than EXP. No chance.
Wholeheartedly, man. Well said. What a great strategy. Every morning I open up Facebook, I see 34 friends have birthdays today, and 99% of them are realtors, right? What a great idea. I've never thought of that. So thank you for bringing that to light. See, that's what I love about doing this call, guys, is that every week there's just nuggets and pearls that are flying at us. We just need to have the gut gauge that allows us to implement and deploy it. Yet there's one common emotion that holds everybody back. What do you suppose that is?
I think the common emotion that holds everybody back is the fear in their mind that everybody's going to get upset with them.
Yeah.
And
at the same time, and somebody who says, well, I don't want to bother people. My common response to them is, why the heck are you being so judgmental? Now think about that. If you say, I don't want to bother people, therefore you don't pick up the phone and call them, are you or are you not being judgmental? Yeah, you are, because you're prejudging the situation. Shouldn't it be up to them whether or not you're bothering them or not, right? See, it's fear. Fear holds us back. Now, fear is not the same as danger. You understand this. When is the last time you heard of a realtor with the XP that got beat up or shot because they called another realtor and asked, are you open-minded to investigating the model? Guys, it doesn't happen. Fear is not the same as danger. Just pick up the phone, get into action around attraction. I mean, we sit here and we talk about this every single week for 45 minutes to an hour. And yet many of you kind of harness that knowledge. You just let it sit there. You don't do anything with it. My info, just pick up the darn phone, make it happen right now.
He's been up since 3:45. He's getting aggressive after doing his books. That's it.
Needed to blow off some steam, I guess. But yeah, good stuff. Yeah,
no, that's awesome.
Why not?
That's great stuff. This is the one point I want to make to everybody who's out there, all 87 people on this call. You can do this. If you believe it, you'll achieve it. But you have to set the time to do it. You have to set your intent to do it. And Sean said it best. Don't be judgmental. And if you get in trouble, call somebody up and say, I'm not judging you. Don't judge me. Here's the scenario. I wish somebody would have picked up the phone and called me earlier. That's it. And they'll say, what are you talking about? Just say, I found a phenomenal opportunity that I want to share with you.
That's amazing, Pete. And what a heartfelt way to approach that. And the one thing, well, more than one thing I've taken away so far is the energy that you're bringing to this initial phone call. I think it's just amazing because attitudes are contagious. I think you guys would agree with that, right? And Pete, yours is an attitude I'd love to catch. You understand? Because it's heartfelt. It's come from contribution. And by the way, I don't care how big the wall is between the two of you, meaning your candidate and yourself. When you come from contribution, what it does is it melts it away brick by brick by brick. No doubt about that. So Pete, fantastic stuff. Guys, do me a favor. If you've got a question for Pete, this is an opportunity to ask one of the top guys at EXP questions about what he's doing, how he's doing it. I want you to move your mouse down to the bottom. You see that little mute thing at the lower left? You can unmute yourself. You can ask a question and, or like Chris did earlier, go down to the emojis icon down there at the bottom where it says reactions. In fact, let's practice that. Just go ahead and click that right now. And you see another window pops up. It gives you the opportunity to raise your hand. Okay, so I see that Darren just raised his hand. And when you raise your hand, I'm going to call upon you and we're going to get your question or your topic addressed. So Darren, take it away, my friend.
Hey, thanks, Pete, for coming in and sharing with us. What do you do for follow-up when you're calling agents that don't answer the phone, or maybe they're interested? What's your long-term kind of nurture plan for them?
I mean, I'll give you my short and then my long. My short is if they're not getting back to me, and I always share with people, Darren, and it's a great question. I always share with people, if you want to be successful in anything in life, just return people's calls. It's my pet peeve when people don't call me back. So, and look, I understand people have a lot going on, things get away from them and so forth. If I don't hear back from them, then I usually call again and say, look, I've been trying to get in touch with you. I may have a referral for you, get back to me. If you mention the word referral, they'll get back to you. My long-term plans are, I do a lot of just little touches. I touch in and I invite them to a lot of things. Hey, I'm going to this. Would you love to come? I'm going to lunch today. Would love to meet up with you. I'm going to breakfast. I'm going to go to this event. I have this mastermind. I have this other thing. I would love to get your take on it. I just keep trying to love on them as much as I can and keep trying to help anything that they have an obstacle or adversity that they're trying to overcome. So I always keep trying to dig. You know, hey, I'd love to pick your brain on this. I know you're the authority on open houses, Sean. How have your open houses been going? Because this is how mine have been going. I try to bridge a gap. Now, you just have to keep asking questions, you know, all the time. What's working for you? What isn't? Where do you need help? Where don't you? That's it. And just create those relationships. It's all about relationships. And do they believe in you? And do they believe that you're going to look out for their best interests?
How do you keep everything kind of organized? Do you use any kind of a CRM or a system?
Yeah, I use CRM Grow.
Okay.
Typically, that's the main one that I use.
Love CRM Grow, guys. I fully endorse that program. With Icon Coaching, we leverage a CRM called Infusionsoft. And, you know, I'll spend over $1,000 a month on that program, and it doesn't do half the stuff that CRM Grow does at the pro level for $99 per month. Or at the step below pro level, I think it's $49, maybe $59 per month. Guys, it's a no-brainer. It will organize your data. You launch smart plans, you build automations. Heck, if you join CRM Grow and you reach out to me, because there's a little Teams tab on the left side. If you click that and you type in Icon Coaching, you send me a request, I'll give you all of our automations here. I'll just tag you in and you can just simply download the automations and apply it to your own follow-up strategy, and having those automations in place, I think, is critically important. Love that. Okay. And one other thing that I'll mention as it relates to follow-up, guys, if you're just following up, talking only about EXP, just don't. They're going to ghost you. They're going to block you. They're never going to return your phone call or your text because they know all you want to do is talk to them about EXP. Follow Pete's advice. Talk to them about their business. What's their favorite subject to talk about? Of course, it's themselves. Yes. So talk to them about them. At the same time, I would encourage you to engage in and or start a weekly mastermind where it's all about improving their sales volume. Where they'll not only hear from you, you'll leverage other people to have them kind of pour into your audience and let the, just like we're doing with Pete today, right? I don't have to be the creator of all this content. Pete brought the content to the call. All I have to do is ask questions, and you can do exactly the same thing. And if you want the easy button, seriously, if you want the easy button, just go to iconcoaching.com. I want you to register for the Tuesday afternoon mastermind session that we do. It's called Accelerated Breakthrough Mastermind. You can take that registration link. By the way, don't get them to go to Icon Coaching and register for it, because I don't want them entering my personal funnel, okay? So you register though, go ahead and register. You're gonna get the link, and then all you have to do is just text them that link or email them the link, call them and come from contribution. Say, listen, I'm going to be joining this mastermind on Tuesday afternoon. In fact, I'm doing it every Tuesday afternoon, and I pick up so much knowledge and so much skill as it relates to improving my production. And when I was thinking about that, I thought, why am I being selfish? And I thought of you. I thought, why don't I reach out to you and invite you to participate in this mastermind as well? And then every Tuesday, you hit them up with a text message. Here, you're going to be there this afternoon, Tuesday, for the Icon Coaching Mastermind. Guys, we don't talk about EXP on this call. We only talk about improving your sales volume. It's a come from contribution kind of model, and you can apply leverage to what you're trying to do. Just show up to that Tuesday call. It's just 30 minutes in duration. And I promise you, you're going to pick up at least one thing that you can apply today that will improve your ability to sell more real estate. And that's what it's all about. But invite your candidates too, seriously. All right, over to you, Marilyn. Thanks for being patient.
Yeah, good afternoon. Hi. Listen, great content today, and I've been invited to all your mastermind classes and icon classes because I really want to build a network within the organization. And I just give you a brief background of myself, that I'm retired NYPD police officer, and I have a huge network of people, but I just don't know how to just organize myself to reach out to a certain group of people, because it's like millions of people. So I need that help to just organize myself and reach out to these people. So I want to ask, how do I do that?
All right, Pete, take it away, man. What are your thoughts?
It's a great question. I mean, I have a very, very complicated system when it comes to some of the other people who are attached to me. And I thank you for the question, Marilyn. And this is going to sound very, very elementary. Pull out a yellow pad of paper, write down every name you can, and just start calling them. And here's the deal. And Chris and I came up with this early on. Has anybody seen the movie Fight Club? All right, I have. So I like
Love
it.
that movie, by the way.
Yeah. So Chris and I, our saying has always been, what's the first rule of Fight Club?
We don't talk about Fight Club.
Yeah. What's the second rule of Fight Club?
We don't talk about Fight Club, right?
All right. So just remember that when you're talking to people, it's not about EXP, it's about them. Make it all about them. So compliment them, compliment them, compliment them, connect with them. If you haven't talked to them in a while, Marilyn, apologize to say, you know, I've had so much going on in my life, but I was thinking about you today. Ask them if they made any good arrests lately. If they're a cop with a real estate license, and just say, how's your production going? Or how are you doing in real estate right now part-time? Do you need any help with anything? You know, most of the top producer people that joined EXP, yes, they were definitely gravitated to it as business people for the rev share and the equitable positions and other things on the majority, right? But when it came to the real estate side of it, the majority of them joined EXP for the collaboration, the contribution. And when you come from a place of collaboration, contribution, you're coming from a place to help others. And people feel that. It's very authentic. It's not fake. It's not artificial. And that's what people want. They want real connections, real relationships. Hey, if I had a problem, could I reach out to Sean? And Sean, would you genuinely help me? I believe he would. You know, he'd say, hey, this is how I'd handle that. Or this is what I've done in the past to have success. That's what people are looking for. They're looking for human connection. That's the big thing. They want to be connected. And I never really found that in my 30 years of real estate. On my journey, EXP has been the most authentic connection when it comes to collaborative contribution.
I wholeheartedly agree.
Yeah.
No doubt. Wholeheartedly agree.
And the only time people would help me in the past, you guys, and I loved all my brokerages. Listen, it made me who I am. It was part of my journey. And, I started off with my parents' traditional brokerage, so I don't tell them this, but typically people would only assist me or help me or try to lift me up or push me ahead if there was a financial gain for them in it. And a lot of times in real estate, it isn't. We're all kind of on our own. We're our own individual islands in a sense. Just bridge the gap, create that bridge between the islands and say, look, I'd love to give you this system. What systems are you struggling with? Oh, my business partner has a great system. Let me get that for you. I'm going to give it to you so you don't have to recreate the wheel. That's the biggest value you can ever give to anyone. They'll love it. And then they're going to look at a guy like Sean and say, so why the hell would you do that? Why would you? And just say, because I love you as a friend and I love the relationship we have. And I know that if the shoe was on the other foot, you would do that for me. That's it.
That's it. Very
Guys,
cool.
thank you. That was great. Thank you so much. I love the intel and your comments. Thank you. Now I know how to go forward. Thank you.
Good job, Marilyn. Great job, Pete. And yeah, I think back to my time at Remax. Like when I was 20 years old, I got my license. I joined Remax. I was in Colorado. Guys, it just made sense. And yet, I'll tell you what, every other agent in that Remax office, they hated me. I was consistently top 100 internationally within the organization, yet I could tell when they looked at me, they would much rather see me break my leg than sell another house, guaranteed. It was a very competitive environment, yet EXP totally different, guys. It's so collaborative. Everybody, seriously, I could reach out to Gene Frederick right now and he'd say, yeah, you want to jump on a 3-way call? Let's do it. Reach out to Rob Flick, same thing, right? So DJ, we're going to go over to you. Go ahead.
If I could figure out how to work these things, it would be a lot better in my life. But and I apologize, I've got a cold. Anyway, I've been here since the beginning of the year, and I have 10 people in my downline. But but here's my thing. I am not calling anybody that I know. I'm calling people that I don't know. And so I love the judgment thing. And so Pete, could you just say that one more time? What you said, I know it won't be exact because it was just off the top of your head, but about judging and not being judged. Could you do that again?
Yeah. No, it's a great question. And remember, don't be telepathic, be teleprompted. So what I mean by that is reach out to these people and just say, look, I've been thinking about you today and I'm sorry that I haven't been in touch. I've had a lot of things going on in my life. I wanted to see how you were doing, how your family's doing. And compliment them. I see that you're doing really well. How's it going over there? And say, don't judge me on this, why I'm reaching out to you right now. But I found an opportunity that I wanted to share with you. And I didn't want to be judgmental, trying to decide if it was something for you or not. So I decided to pick up the phone and just reach out to you. I want to allow you to decide. And they're going to say, what is it? 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 And just say, before I get into that, I would love to have an intentional call on that. How is your business going? What's working well? What isn't? How's your business now compared to 6 or 12 months ago?
So
And just start asking them questions, because you don't want to get into, when they start asking you, well, how does it work? And why is it beneficial? And this and that, you want to have an intentional call on that. But say it's something that I really feel could be a huge shift and a huge change in your life and could really benefit you. And that's why I'm reaching out to you, because I respect you. That's it. That's the conversation we'd have. Don't try to, a lot of people say, oh, well, I can just call people I don't know. I think it's way harder. Call the people that you know. And if you haven't spoken to them, just be authentic and say, hey, I'm sorry I haven't been in touch. I've just had a lot going on. Everybody has things going on, but make a big list. Write out a big list on a yellow pad of paper and call them up. And you know something? They're going to do it on their time. They're not going to do it on your time. It might be, you got to play the long game, right? So a lot of it, the fortune's in the follow-up. You just got to follow up. At some point, something's going to shift. I've had people say, I know we've been talking about this for a year and I apologize. They just raised my color copy rates at my office to 10 cents and it really ticked me off. What is this all about? That's it.
That's right. Timing has a lot to do with the outcome of a rain dance. You guys get this, right?
All about timing.
So
Always
basically, as an ex-team leader, it's a leads analysis is what you're doing with that is, right? So the other thing is there is a large real estate company I just moved to a new community, new town. So there's a office here that is in really bad trouble. And I want to call these people, but I don't know them. Give me a script for what do I say to these people that don't know me? And well, some of them might know me, but probably not.
I mean, offhand, just shooting from the hip, I'd probably get their numbers and call them up and say, hey, I live in the community and I heard a couple of things. And I wanted to reach out to you because I may have an option for you.
Oh, that's a good idea. Thank you.
That's it.
All right.
I mean, life is about having options, right? It's not necessarily about money. Money just creates options. So just say, I may have an option for you if you're looking for one. And, based on what's been going on and how real estate's been trending, a lot of people looking for other options. And this may be the time to explore it.
You're awesome. Thank you.
Fantastic. And Chris, you raised your hand. You had something to say to that question. Go ahead.
Yeah, I do a lot of those kind of calls. And I mean, we do those in our group now all the time. And, always just be upfront, guys. I mean, never, you always want to be authentic. So, one of the things we do is say, hey, look, don't go searching through your mental Rolodex right now. You have no idea who the hell I am. I've been following, I did some research on you. I've been following you on social media. That's a great thing to start to do also, guys, is when you have somebody that you're looking to target and that you're looking to develop a relationship with, start liking and interacting with their social media content. Because remember how the algorithms work is when you're commenting and liking and stuff, the algorithm picks that up and says, oh, these two must know each other. So then your stuff starts to show up in their feed and vice versa. Ask them questions so that hopefully they re-engage back with you. That'll speed up the process. And once that happens a couple of times, you just call them up and be like, hey, we're friends on Facebook. I follow you on Instagram. I think your content's awesome. Listen, if you got a couple minutes, I have something I'd love to share with you. We're a huge team in La Jolla, California, top producers, yada, yada, yada. And a couple of years ago, we made an incredible move that has changed all of our lives. And then I always ask the exact same question. Have you taken a look at EXP? And then shut up. That's the most powerful question you can ask, guys, because they're going to give you so much information in response to that. Just by, do they have any prejudices against it? What have they heard about it? Have they heard of it? You know what I mean? And always depending on that answer to the question, you're moving forward from there. But it's always just sort of, especially if they say, yeah, no, I've looked at it. It's not for me. Oh, I'm sorry to hear that. How come?
Thank you for addressing that, Chris, because that was a question from John Krause a little bit earlier. He said, what are your objection handlers when people say, well, I've already heard about EXP and I'm not interested? See, this wasn't a problem until about a year ago, right? And Pete, you'll attest to this. Earlier, it was, what's EXP? EXP what? Right. And now everybody knows about EXP. And so I've already investigated the model. I'm not interested. How do you handle that objection? And Pete, I want to go to you real fast.
I mean, I like how Chris said, oh, I'm sorry. What didn't you like about it? I usually say, I'm just curious. Can you expand on that? What resonated with you and what didn't resonate with you?
Love it, Pete. Fantastic.
What they say.
Yeah, they say, well, I've already investigated the model. I'm not interested. You're kidding me, right? No, I mean, seriously, was it the fact that you get stock, equity, and ownership? Is that the part you didn't like? Or was it, the fact that you could retire in the next 3 to 5 years with plenty of residual and passive income? Is that the part you didn't like? I'm just curious. What was it specifically that you didn't like?
Well, Sean, I don't want to be a recruiter. I just want to sell real estate.
Oh, so what you're telling me, Pete, is you don't like to recruit, you don't want to recruit, and that's okay because you know what? I'm a great recruiter and I'm going to help you build residual and passive income, whether you like it or not. Is that okay with you?
Yes, that'd be great.
Well, then let's take the simple next step. let's carve out 20 minutes. I want to just walk you through the 8 different ways we compensate our agents here at EXP, one of which is residual and passive income. Tell me, what's the best time for us to get together? Is it mornings or afternoons?
Oh, mornings.
I mean, I just, the whole goal of that initial conversation, gang, it's simply to set an appointment. You got to be like a bulldog on a bone, man. You can't let go of it.
Yeah.
You have to ask and re-ask, and they'll object, and then you have to handle the objection, reposture, re-ask again. Guys, just keep asking until they hang up on you. Play the hang up game with them. Why not? You have nothing to lose. And you can't lose what you don't already possess. So just go for it. That's all I can say. Linda Hedrick from Pueblo Springs, Colorado. Take it away.
Yeah, Pete, when you're calling and they don't pick up, what type of message do you leave?
I would just say, hey, Linda, it's Pete. I know we haven't spoken in a while. I'd love to connect with you. Can you do me a favor and give me a call back? It's really important.
Okay. What if you don't know them, you're cold attracting?
If I didn't know someone, I would say, hey, my name's Pete Middleton. And before you start thinking about who I am, you don't know me. But I was asked to give you a call. And I want to just speak on a few different topics when it comes to real estate. If you get a chance, give me a call back. I'd love to collaborate with you.
Okay, thank you. Thanks.
Yeah, no worries.
Great question, Linda. Thank you. Anyone else? All right, gang. If there's no other questions, I'm going to let Pete get on with this busy day, go to and attract that next agent to align with our amazing company. You guys, if maybe you want a little bit of help, seriously, if you maybe want some help building a sustainable revenue share organization and you're looking for a great coach, look no further. We're here to support and help you here at Icon Coaching. Just go to iconcoaching.com, click that little button that says apply for coaching, and we'll walk you through the models. We'll walk you through how it works, and then you can make an educated, informed decision. Would aligning with the coach shortcut your process to success? So with that said, guys, thanks for your time. Thanks for your focus. Until we do this again next week, just be on purpose, be productive, be powerful. Just like Pete. Pete, thank you so much for your time today and just adding value to everybody on this call. Really appreciate you, buddy.
Thanks, Sean. Thanks so much.
By the way, anything I can do for you, please. I'm just a text away. Hit me up on workplace chat, whatever you need. I'm right here for you, brother.
Thanks, buddy. I appreciate it.
Take care, everybody.
Have a great Easter. Talk to you soon.
See you next
Thank
week. Bye-bye.
Appreciate it. Thank you.